Hi everyone, my name is Aderinsola and this is my channel and this is the video I'm posting. I'm not even gonna lie because let's just say that this has been in my head for probably since I was in SS2 or SS3 and I'm, beyond that. So let's just say, better late than never, but it's not even late because I feel like everything is about God's timing. Um, I was going to do like an intro session, but in every other video where I've tried to do an intro session, that's usually the end of it because I feel like I'm dynamic or let me say I'm God's masterpiece, if we put it like that. But like I have a lot of interests, and even when I don't, it's hard to put it into words. And I'm kind of queer and unique, but I think the only thing that I can say that, is wait, the queer not in, well, let me just, I'm no, I don't even know what to say. But like the only thing I can say is constant is that I'm a Christian, meaning I love Christ and I'm constantly pursuing to being like Christ. So yeah, um, I believe that Jesus died for me, and rose again. So I am a Christian in the fullness of the word, um, of the word, and so that is all that is actually constant about me for now. I feel like we should give each other a chance to get to know each other and form perceptions about each other, right? And when I'm saying each other, I see this is for like two people, but I think where I'm at now is that like this is it, and like this is just like my brain in a video or my brain in rant. So like if nobody watches it, I mean my children will watch it, so like everything is fine. But let's just say that I have this perception of how like I have a way I would say I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I know how I would like my life to be in future, and this is just me, you know, keeping track of how I get there. Um, yeah. So my name is Aderinsola, and I'm going to be a doctor soon, and by soon I mean in some years. But like tomorrow is my first day of actual lectures. You know, you see how I'm smiling. Honestly, like I'm ready. Please, like we've been at home for quite a while, so like yeah. So of actual lectures in medical school. And even though lectures are starting tomorrow, after we're going to have lectures on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and on Friday we're going to write the test. Then the cycle repeats itself next week. We're going to have like another intro course and we're going to have a test. And one of the things I was very particular when this year started was, my academics. I wanted no excuses, do you get? So even in the other responsibilities I took up both in school and outside school, I have been very intentional about making sure it's not things that are, you know, going to affect that in any way. I mean, one of those things that on that girl in that girl that I'm looking up to, or should I say, is looking up is praying that I achieve everything that she already knows I achieve, is that she does this and she becomes a doctor and she does it excellently well, at least for today. I like to say at least for today because we don't know what the future holds. And I think that's the best. That's not the best thing about life, but that is life. We can't change it. Um. So yeah. So basically, this is not even going to be like an intro session or a get to know me session. I feel like we'll, you know, like I said, form perceptions about each other as we go. And I'm saying each other because maybe it's like my future child that is watching this thing. So let me just. Do you get? So in case nobody else watches it and I have like zero views, at least I know she's watching or he's watching it, right? Yeah, so basically this is my brain in video mode. Um so this week is already hectic and I wasn't smiling like this before. Immediately I even found out how this week was going to be. I was like, okay, so it's getting serious. Do you get? And I wasn't just smiling. But the first thing I did was, to plan. And the planning, of course, I know that is open to, things that are beyond your control one and is open to whatever God's plan is too. So I'm fine with that. But I just wrote down the things that I, in my present state, want to achieve, by the time the end week is over. And one thing about me is like I would like to. Whenever I put a target, I'm going to try my best to make it. I remember one time me and my friend were like, "Oh, we're going to do this walking thing." Shout out to but like yeah. So we're going to do this walking thing, and I took it overboard. Please, I was counting my steps inside the house. Like I was walking up and down around the house and like I didn't even sit down that whole Saturday. and then my steps were this exaggerated amount. And I was like, oh, I thought we were taking this like really, really seriously. So if I set a target, I'm going to try. Even if I can't make it in the end, I will try. So this week, I think some of the targets that have set themselves is I want to do the Bible in 1 year thing. And even though the year has started, everything in mindset for you. So like even though the year has started, I'm supposed to do Exodus, I think starting from 11, 4 chapters per day this week. Then in my church, we're doing like also the Bible, we're trying to finish the Bible, but not necessarily in 1 year. So we're doing Genesis 1, like 1 chapter of Genesis each day. So this week is Genesis 5 to 10. So how are we measuring this week's achievement? If by Saturday we're able to say, by Saturday evening, honestly, the time now is 11 something or 12 something. So this is even a joke. But like by this time on Saturday, if we're able to say that one, we're able to finish Exodus, right? Like the Exodus I have to read the 4 chapters per day. If two, we were able to finish Genesis, you know. And three, if we can boldly say that the exam we took on Friday was this capish, like it was perfect. If we can boldly say that, the week was a success. And I'm really praying for that number three, please. If I okay, I'm praying for all of them, let's say the truth. But that number three, God, I beg, you know. So yeah, that's one of, I mean, those are the three things on that scale. Then I'm, should we say, tutoring for a little while. So I'm helping my brothers out, so I'm going to, I have to teach them, and I do not want this to take the place of that because I've never even, started anything too dramatic. So let's not make it more than it is. So I want to be able to like stay consistent with teaching them, whether I have to move the time a bit, I mean around a bit, because before I had a like specific time, but if I have to move the time around, that's fine. As long as by the time this week ends, I can still say I'm teaching my brothers, not that, oh, I used to teach them, you get. So like I'm still fully invested in that. Then these videos thing. So I'm just going to give this snippet. So like in my goals of the year thing, which I've actually been really good with, and I saw this video where they're like, if you're able to make it to the January 15-day mark, you're good to go. So this, recording of a thing was, or this channel of a thing was one of, that could be misunderstood, couldn't it? That sound. But I just hit my leg on like the table, but yeah. So yeah, so it was one of the things I wanted to do. So if I'm also able to consistently record, now I'm saying consistently record because if I do a video that isn't a rant like this one, I'm going to have to edit. Like this, I'm not going to edit it unfiltered, please. But if I do like a real, like maybe, I'm not going to do a vlog. I'm honestly not that energetic. But if I do like a real video, maybe like, oh, a study with me or something, I'm going to have to edit, and edit does take time, and I'm probably not going to do it during the course of the week. I'll do it during the weekend. So if I'm just saying that if on my path I'm able to record on a daily, then I'll call that a success. I will upload them eventually, but not necessarily like on a constant, like on a daily basis, basically. So I think that is that. Yeah. And I have certain responsibilities, right, in school. So I would like to do that cheerfully because I put this thing on my this thing. I like to do that cheerfully and not get overwhelmed or stressed. So just putting things in place for me to do that. But yeah, this was probably the most boring video. Well, I'm not even going to put myself down. This video was interesting and maybe it was impactful. But I think, okay, yeah, so if I was going to say one thing that, I heard today that was, okay, no, okay, there were plenty things I heard today that were actually really good because I went to church. Because I was about to say if I was going to say one thing I heard today that was really good, and I was going to say from a YouTube channel I watched, do you get, which was Stop Overthinking. But nah, I also heard this thing where it was like, oh, first within, then without, meaning that if you actually want change to happen, it has to happen first within you before it can start to show outside. And I think it's true. Because sometimes, You can get so like laid back, like you can feel so down that you don't want to do something, but like your mindset changes and then suddenly you are able to do it. I don't know if anybody else has this feeling where it's like they tell their mind how it should react, in the sense that like normal thing is like, oh, okay, let me just give this as an example. So I had studied one day, but like I was studying at my own pace, and then I joined this group, and like they were asking questions, and I was like, oh gosh, I hadn't gotten there, and just like, what type of questions were these? But like I had a structure that I had put in place that guaranteed that by the time this last week ended, I would have gotten there, right? So it was around, okay, yeah. So I went out, I got back, it was 9 o'clock, and I didn't want to. I mean, okay, yeah, it was 9 o'clock, and I opened the group chat and I saw that I hadn't gotten to that place. And for me, it wasn't even, oh, I hadn't gotten there. I didn't even think of that. I was like, oh, why didn't I know the answers to this thing? And I just like left it. Do you get? I just fell downcast. So I just like laid down on my bed. Um, I wasn't even really doing anything. But all I knew was that it was 9 o'clock, and we had a prayer by 1, and I stayed awake till that 1 o'clock for the prayer. And I basically did not study. And in the way the goals are, like my targets were scheduled, if I had studied that thing, I would have finished that day's target at least to move towards, like, forward to the next day. And I didn't. So the next day, I just had to tell myself that, well, if you're going to sit down and moan about not knowing something, it's not going to change the fact that you don't know it. You're going to have to study to change that. And I legit pick up my book. And that day was like, okay, I think this was Friday. So oh, no, was it? Wow, okay, yeah, it was on Friday. And yesterday, like, I just spent the whole day basically studying. Funny thing is, in my journal, I put like 20-hour study session. Now I knew that I was like, that's even realistic, because it's not if you're the one like controlling every single factor about your life. You know, there are other people that have, roles to play. But basically, I meant that yesterday had to be an intense study session, because my targets for last week had to end yesterday, because the week ended yesterday. And it was good because I got to study everything I wanted to study. But it all started when I had to tell my mind that, well, moping around is not going to change anything. You're going to actually have to stand up and do something about it. So I understood the first within, then without part of thing. Then so you know how there's this thing where I think that Gio said that this year was like the landmark year or something. So my teacher in church was like, oh, she was like, oh yeah, for you to actually do something that is landmark, then you must be behaving in ways that are completely different from the way the ordinary people are behaving. Do you get? So you can't want to like stand out. Like I'll call it a dream in my head. It's like, oh, you want to cure cancer. Let's say it like that. If you want to cure cancer, the books you're going to be reading is going to be completely different from what the average person that is your age is reading. Do you get? But if you want to like, the path you're going to be taking is going to be completely different. So if you want to do higher, or the more seemingly impossible what you want to do is, the more you're going to have to do things differently from the person that is doing the thing that, you know, isn't yours. So I just, when she said that, for you to do something that is truly landmark, you must um truly a landmark thing, or that makes the year a landmark year, then you must first, behave in a way that is different from the way other people are behaving. Something I'm happy about this year is that, to a very large extent, and I know that the year is only like 19 days in, to a very large extent, I've been able to say, okay, this is what I'm going to do today, and I've actually been able to do it. Loki, I'm even happy because today I marked 7 days in my Duolingo streak. And it's 7 days because I actually started 7 days ago. So it's not like, oh, it's disappeared or anything. So in the next 100 days, it will be 100 day streak, because it's just something that I want to do. At least during solar of today wants to do. Yeah, so like side goals that I haven't mentioned was that I was supposed to learn a digital skill. Um and I'm not supposed to, I am going to. But I'm also what did I want to call it? structures, systems. Yeah, I'm putting systems in place. So my body now knows certain things that it has to do at certain times. And I don't want to like, so it's like I have to find the way to insert it into what I'm doing in a way that I'm comfortable with, or that it doesn't mess up everything else. Because I've been able to get a structure in the way I read. I've been able to get a structure in the way I do my, you know, English learning and stuff. I say English learning. Well, that Duolingo bed has done me since. But yeah, the language I'm learning. So this has been a good rant. Remember the 5 things, or what did they say we're accomplishing this week? Exodus, 4 chapters per day. Genesis, 1 chapter per day. Test on Friday that we have to ace. Beginning of studying for like next week's lectures. Consistently recording for the next 5 days before I have to make this video again and give an account. Yeah, to be honest, like the Aderinsola that I was talking about, the future version of me, she becomes really great, and I feel like for me to become really great, I must be ready to take up that space. Do you get? So I actually love. Okay, love is a strong word, but I actually love reading books. Like, I actually don't enjoy fiction, like storybooks, as much as I enjoy reading about other people's lives or reading about habits that are actually, or like personality or traits, or like business or entrepreneurship, things that are actually like low-key beneficial to me. People can argue that storybooks are beneficial to them too, right? Because if I have nothing to do, I'm probably going to pick up a storybook. I read one during the holiday that I just finished, but I read like 11 others that were not even storybooks at all. When you have big things in your head, you gotta act differently. And I think that's what they were trying to say today. So, last, maybe this thing is just going to be a rant every single day. But I just want, like, because something I've noticed, I've been inspired by, like, normally the way I am, I don't even like certain things. Like, but there are 2 people on like social media now that I'm just like, okay, these people are so like me. Do you get? They are so like me in the sense that it's like I'll just advise and say, whatever you're doing, do your best. Do your best. Like, just ensure, because I feel like you can't regret what you put your best into. Do you get? One thing I'm big on is I don't want to go and live my life and be like, oh, and since I was like 14, I've been saying I wanted to do this thing and I didn't do it. And I don't also want to live my life and be like, oh, what if I had? So it's better to just do it. Do you get? So my mom would be like, oh, do it afraid. And I think that people have been chanting that thing. So I think last year was no great for everybody, but this year is like, do it afraid, do it afraid. Which means, and I feel like landmark here, do it afraid, it makes so much sense. So I would say, do what you have to do, to get to where you want to get to. As long as, you're carrying, I mean, God is the one driving, like you're not taking God along, God is taking you along. And, it aligns with what He has for you. So yeah, before, when I actually picked up this, like, when I set up for this video, I actually thought it was going to be a study with me. I was going to like, record myself doing an overnight, but like I've said I'm going to do it. I'm probably going to do it. Once I finish now, my head hurts so badly because today was a very long day. But I'm just going to stop for a bit, study, and then pray at 1. And after 1, we're going to say, hopefully keep on studying, because like we said, we have to put our best into this. Yeah. So hopefully you guys can tell me what your Bible plans are for this year, or like your plans in getting closer to God. Also looking forward to like other people that are starting their journey into medical school. If you are there, you can say hello. I'm just playing shy. But basically, anybody that feels like they're just, living and trying to figure out their lives, they are not like going to be like, oh, they know all the plans, but they know that God is leading them to a place. I mean, God is taking them to plans that are good and not of evil, to bring them to an expected end. Even if you're confused, you can be here, because half of the time I'm confused. or like worried or this thing. But it's also fine because clarity comes when God is there. I mean, yeah. So I know a few of my friends are going to be very proud of me for finally posting this video. And I'm not even going to shout out to you guys, but yeah. So thank you. Bye. This is me pressing my stop the video button, but my stop the video button is not stopping the video. These are the struggles. But like stay consistent. I'm not even going to say stay consistent because I'm not even going to pretend like I'm not bad in consistency. But like be intentional. Anything you can control. Don't be sad for too long about the things you didn't do and just hop on the next thing. Anyhow, bye.